Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Charity Charge Show. Today I'm joined by Geri Maples, who is the Executive Director of the Dayton and Southwestern Ohio chapter of Blue Star Families. And they are doing amazing work for the military personnel of that region, really supporting both the members of the military, veterans, and their families and community. Geri, thank you so much for taking time to join us today on the show. Tell me a little bit more about what you're working on out there in Dayton and Southwestern Ohio.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Grayson. It's an honor to be here and share all the great things that we are doing here in Dayton and Southwestern Ohio. Just for context, so our chapter covers obviously the folks at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, as well as our National Guard, our reservists, and our veterans. Really, if you take Dayton and you go north, south, east, or west from Wright-Pat Air Force Base, we cover folks as far down as northern Kentucky, as far west as the western portions of Indiana, all the way over to Columbus. So we have
Amazing.
a quite the territory here, and it's just an honor to be able to serve our military and veteran families. And some of the things that we're doing here right now is we're getting ready to kick off Blue Star Welcome Week, which is dedicated to welcoming our new military and veteran families into the region. This is kind of the end of what we call PCS season. So we have permanent chains of stations going on all across the globe. And some of those families are coming here to Dayton and Southwest Ohio. So we're really excited about that. And we're going to be taking our caregivers, so our military caregivers and their veterans, on a riverboat cruise down the Ohio River, as well as field day with some of our schools. So we have quite the things coming up just in September.
That's incredible. There's so much to dive into. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit more about what you see as the role of Blue Star families and how that fits into kind of your community.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, our role is we want to make military family and veteran family life awesome. Our families are not all of them, but we do have families who are struggling.
Mm,
Every year Blue Star Families does an annual military family lifestyle survey, and that is a tool to provide all of us with an insight to what's going right, what's working, what's not working, what challenges are you having. And historically here in the Ohio region, they've told us that there's financial stressors going on. Military spouse or underemployment is always a challenge when it comes to what I was just saying. Our military families are moving. Sometimes they're moving every 2 to 3 years. And then we have caregivers out there like myself. I'm a military caregiver to my veteran, my husband, and you know, can't always hold a job, or maybe you can't work as much, right?
yeah,
Because you're providing those
that
care. So
time commitment.
right, exactly. So we do have families who, are financially stressed. Maybe they don't have access to childcare. I always say that it's that one feeds off the other, right? So if you have a spouse who doesn't have access to childcare, then they don't have the ability to go out and work outside the home, right? So
100%.
and then that leads to food insecurity for our military and veteran families. So we try to provide them with the resources necessary, the tools that they need to address those things. We share that data with our partners, and they work together with us. And in the meantime, while we're doing that, we try to make life awesome for them through a whole host of things, whether it's taking them to the Dayton Dragons game, which is our minor league baseball team here, who I should say has completely sold out every year since they since they arrived. And so, we try to do that. We take them on riverboat cruises. We have field day at school. We do so much. We would be here for at least all day, Grayson, if I told you everything we did. And I
Amazing.
don't think you have that much time, but I encourage folks that are listening to really go out and join our neighborhood. We have Blue Star Families has a phenomenal online secure neighborhood that is there for our military veteran families as well as civilian neighbors who want to help. We want to bring them in a place where we have all these resources, list all the fun things we're doing, give them the opportunity to connect with their neighbors and build a stronger community.
Sounds like y'all are
Yeah.
really building a community, right? And that
Yeah.
has multiple layers of support because It's
It
a
does.
it's a complex gap that your organization is filling
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your community.
It really is, it really is, and, in our chapters, not just my chapter, but in all, 13 to 14 of them, across the country, and growing, we do have core programs that we do provide. One of those is our Blue Star Careers. My program manager, Sarah, is working with our community partners to address the un or underemployment among our spouses, as well as transitioning tools for our veterans. And so we work with a lot of different partners to teach them how to build a LinkedIn account, how to use that LinkedIn account, how to build their resume, how to do mock interviews so that when they do have an interview, they can answer those really tough questions like why is there a gap in your employment? Can you explain that?
That dreaded question.
Yes, exactly, right? Which is a common thing for our spouses, right? They do have gaps. I often have caregivers come up to me and say, "Hey, Jerry, do I need to disclose that I'm a caregiver to my veteran?" That's a tough question to answer, right? So we want to help them. We want to help them come up with a way to effectively answer that where they don't feel the need to not disclose that information, right? Because it is important.
Kind of highlighting the
And so
strengths of that work
right,
and the skills
exactly.
that you're
Right.
are developing.
Right, exactly. And so we work with that, and then we have our caregiver program where we help caregivers with activities that provide them with self-care. And that's very important. As a caregiver myself, I know that there are times I forget to take care of me, right? It's inevitable. There's going to be those times. So we want to remind our caregivers to take care of themselves, give them time away in activities that are enriching and fulfilling for them, to fill up their cup because they need to fill up their cup again. And so we have that program, and then also our we're always working to ensure that our families feel welcome no matter how long they've been here. We want them, if they've been here like me for many, many years, or if they just got here, we want them to feel welcome.
I love that. Well, on that note, you've been the executive director of this region, I think, for a little more than 5 years. Tell me
Yes.
a little bit more about what that journey has been like, and also what changes that you've seen both in the nonprofit landscape overall and also within Blue Star Families.
Yeah, yeah, so oh, wow, what a journey. Sometimes it feels like yesterday, and then sometimes it feels like a lifetime ago. We launched this chapter in February of 2020, and, I still remember the very first meetings that I had in person, and then I remember everything going behind Zoom, right? So, when we first launched this, it was a challenging period, not just for our families, but really for our nonprofit landscape, right? They were trying to find a way, how do I respond to this COVID crisis? And how can we as a community help lift up the families that we're serving, no matter if they're military or civilian, right? So we all have a bond here in the Southwestern Ohio region. I think I shared with you when we were originally talking, we run into each other. We know each other. We're friends, we're colleagues. We've been working together in these roles for a number of years. And so when this crisis happened at the beginning of this launch of this chapter, that was the focus at the time. And we wanted to provide our families with resources. We wanted to get them the information out. We wanted to, at the same time, give them a balance of ways that we could support them, but also really kind of give them something to look forward to. So we used, like everyone, we used the virtual space, but then we started utilizing drive-throughs, right? And so it was a really kind of rewarding time, right? We started with 500 households in February of 2020. Today, we are approaching 4,000. So we are approaching 4,000 households in a little over 5 years. And what I can tell you, Grayson, is every step of the way, we learned to pivot at the beginning. We took things that we did outside but before COVID hit. We put them in a virtual space. One of the most significant things that I can remember is our community has a thing called Vets Moving Forward. We do it every Wednesday before Memorial Day, every May. We've been doing that historically since I think 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. And I went to my advisory board and I said, let's bring Vets Moving Forward to Facebook. Let's bring it to my page. I have never sat on Facebook. I probably hold the record for Facebook Live at this point. I think it was like 4 hours, 4 hours straight on Facebook Live. But what we did was we brought those people who would have been at Vets Moving Forward. So employers, places like United Way, partners like the Alzheimer's Association, Troop and Family Assistance. I could go on. And we gave them 15-minute slots and they came on, they did a presentation, they answered questions, and then families were able to connect with them. And it's just rewarding. So that led to me being a podcaster for a while. And every Friday I started this thing called Flyer Talk, which was named by my friend Sam, who at the time was the veterans and military person at University of Dayton. So he's like, Jerry, you have to call it Flyer Talk. And every Friday at noon, I interviewed community partners, gave them a half-hour space to provide details on what they did and how they served and how families could benefit from them. And it lasted through, I think, the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. And so every Friday, and I was getting a line. Like people wanted to be on this show. And it was great. And so that's how we supported, from folks coming on and reading books live to our kids, to having trivia, to bringing our friends at the Cincinnati Cyclones on for a meet and greet with their star player, to you name it. We were just really responding during that time. We even had drive-o-ween during COVID. So kids came in their cars, dressed up in their Halloween costume, and they got candy through the drive-through. Like, it was we had a lot of fun as
That's
well, the
incredible.
way we could.
And it hits on such important themes within the nonprofit space, and that community aspect and that collaboration aspect. And
Yeah,
collaboration is a bit of a buzzword within a nonprofit space, but it's really one of the unique advantages within the nonprofit
yeah,
community is that you're able to take advantage of these partnerships, where you're
yeah,
all kind of collectively moving towards a goal for like for in this case military personnel. And
yeah.
what about that are you hoping to take into, so that was back, with COVID. Looking forward to the next 5 years, how do you see kind of that interactions within your organization?
Yeah, so we, like I said, our region, it doesn't matter if you're in Dayton, Cincinnati, or Columbus. We know each other, right? And we work well with each other. And the collaboration has been there for a number of years, even before I started this chapter here in the Dayton and Southwestern Ohio region. Since that time, since the launch of our chapter, it has really grown. Every year on Veterans Day, we have, in partnership with the Red Cross, veterans be a hero for a hero blood drive. And we started it during COVID, and it continues today. We're getting ready to do our sixth blood drive here on Veterans Day, which I can't believe is gonna, it's just around the corner. The year is flying by, but
It
we
is.
work together, right? We work together on things like food insecurity. Since 2022, we have had our Nourish the Service event. Um, every year. Sometimes we've had it twice. We're getting ready to do ours again in October, and this year we brought our farmers to the table. We did a brainstorming breakfast. We wanted to bring our farmers to the table. The response I got from the farming community is just phenomenal. We actually are having a big fall fest on October 17th at a local ranch, and so not only are we giving our families the nourishment they need and responding to the need for food insecurity, but we're also giving them the opportunity to have a little bit of fun, from
That
going out
connection.
to the pumpkin patch to
Yeah,
launching. I cannot wait to do this. Launching my first ever pumpkin, to watch it, just fly, and wherever it ends up, I'll have to send you a tape.
definitely.
but but also corn maze, right? So they get to go to the corn maze. So we're giving them the things that they need. They'll get to meet with all our amazing partners at this event, but also a little bit of fun, right? So these are the things that our community is doing. We've been doing this now for since 2022 in regards to food insecurity, um, but in other areas too, right? We partner with our schools to support our Purple Star students, our Hidden Helper students in the classroom side of the classroom. This year, we partnered with Pigworks, who oversees the Flying Pig. So our marathon runners out there that are in the audience, please come run the Flying Pig. It's an amazing event, but they have a whole youth program, and we brought that to our schools. So we have our kids, in the classroom with their civilian classmates doing activities from learning about nutrition to how to support yourself in nourishment through food and activities and other things alike, right? So they actually will do 25 miles, and then their last mile, their final marathon mile, will be at the Flying Pig next year in May on that Saturday. It's
Incredible.
amazing.
It
So
is.
we have so many we have so many partners that want to support and empower our military and veteran families, and it's just so rewarding. I can't have the best career in the world because I get to get up every day and I couldn't ask for anything.
Well, and from what it sounds like, as we're approaching the end here too, it connects personally with you and your background, right?
It does.
And I'm sure that the amount of value that brings to your life, where you're getting support, the broad community that you yourself are a part of, I'm sure is really impactful.
Yeah, it is. To put that personal connection, I think I shared with you. So my husband, it was a military police officer with the Ohio National Guard. After 9/11, his unit was called to duty right away, and then in February of 2000 deploy. Well, he was preparing to deploy to Operation Iraqi Freedom. He had come home until September 1st, 2004. We actually just celebrated the 23rd year, or no, 24th year. Oh my gosh, I can't math. I've never math, but the 24th year of him coming home. When he came home, he had a traumatic brain injury that was undiagnosed. We didn't know we didn't even, that wasn't even a thing then when he came home. And our life has been challenging. We've almost lost him. The kids and I have almost lost him 3 times. And every day he is my hero, gets up every day despite pain or whatever he's going through. He still gets up and faces the day. And for me, it's this work is personal because there's a lot of hymns out there, right? There's if I said that correctly, there's a lot of Roberts out there. um and there's a lot of me's out there. There's a lot of Jerry's out there. And to be able to empower our families with the things that I've learned over the last 24 years is rewarding. I had to, go from being the mom who takes the kids to Kings Island and the game store and buying all the PlayStations and all, baby dolls, to being the financial provider of our family. So I went back to school and I just kept going. So I was like, I found that people were coming to me and saying, "Hey, Jerry, where do I go for this? Or where do I go for that?" And I had the answers because I had to find them myself. And so now I get to do this all day, every
That's
day.
incredible. Jerry, well,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on the show, and that was a powerful way to end it, and sharing more about the resources that your organization provides for the military community and how it's connected both to your individual story and obviously how important it is for that region and the community that you're building out there for the military and veterans. Thank you for coming on the show. Everybody listening, definitely reach out to Jerry and go out to the big events that they have coming up this fall. Good luck
Mhm.
with Welcome Week, and thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And if anyone has questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you want to volunteer or support, we're always here and excited to talk with you.
Thank you for listening. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.